Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Wildcat Entrepreneurs Podcast. And for today's episode, we have someone really special because she is not just an ordinary person like us. She started her online journey when she was only 12 years old. That's crazy, right? Yeah, it is. And also, she redefined the art of selling on her own terms, which is the masculine and feminine sales method. Mother of three amazing kids, and an author of two business books. So let's not waste any time and welcome our next wildcat entrepreneur, Jordan Aspen, and we'll learn so many things from her after the intro. Entrepreneurship is a wild journey with lots of ups and downs. After 2 years of my own entrepreneurial journey and doing so many things for my business and business growth, none of them brought me the result I was hoping. So I decided to stop everything what I was doing and started building everything from scratch for a solid foundation. And started learning how the experts have done it themselves. Follow me on this wild journey with other wildcat entrepreneurs as I learn from the experts and I'm gonna build my first $1 million business. I'm your host Tanvir Rahman and you are watching season 1 of Wildcat Entrepreneurs Podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Wildcat Entrepreneurs Podcast. And today, as if you know, we have Jordan with me, and she's gonna share so much value about selling and the difference between masculine and feminine selling because I'm really interested about this topic. So, hi, Jordan. How are you, and how's your day?
Hello, it's been a pretty good day. How are you
Oh,
doing?
yeah, I'm doing really amazing, right? So I was searching for entrepreneurs all over the place to be on this show and to share their expertise and how people can be an expert and how can they start their business, do crazy things online because that's the industry is going on, right? But my eye was stuck because like I saw the thing which is like masculine and feminine selling because I'm gonna get back to this, but can you share a little bit about your online journey and how was your journey? Like how did you become an entrepreneur and mostly online entrepreneur?
Well, it's kind of a long story because I got started as an entrepreneur when I was 12 years old.
Yeah,
So I'll
like
tell you the beginning of the story and then
yeah,
I'll
like
skip a bunch.
that's what like interests me. I because I saw it on your website, like yeah, like 12 years old, like what the hell was going on your mind? So yeah, like please share and go for it.
So my dad was a web designer, still is actually.
All right.
And so he built me a blog from scratch for my 12th birthday. And that's how I entered the online space.
Oh.
Started blogging. And at the same time, that same year, I was starting to get pretty good at sewing.
Mhm.
And a friend of mine asked me to make some dresses for her little girl. And that was my first real job, my first paid project.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I was hooked. And very quickly over the next few years, I saw how the online space and that physical product that I was selling
Mhm.
could merge together.
Exactly.
Um, and over the next decade or so, that evolved in many different ways, including writing an instructional sewing book and teaching sewing
Mhm.
online. But I don't. What I do today is has nothing to do with sewing, so it's evolved even further.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, but yeah, the further evolvement was really when my husband and I got together because he was
Mhm.
an entrepreneur as well. So
Alright.
that's when things changed.
So like how did you meet together? Like, is there any kind of event or something like that? Like, yeah, I'm really excited to know. But
That's kind of a funny story too, because it was, well, let's just say it wasn't love at first sight. So I friend zoned him hard and he
Mhm.
responded basically by saying, "Yeah, sounds good. We're friends. That's it."
Oh, wow.
Um, and let's see, a year and a half after that, we were married.
Wow.
So we did become friends. We bonded over writing and poetry,
Mhm.
both poetry that we wrote and read, stories that we wrote and read, and that's how we bonded over our friendship.
Mhm.
But then it was really when things got deeper and we started talking about our actual goals and dreams. I had published a book. I was about to publish a second one, and he had dreamed of publishing a book,
Alright.
and things just continued from there. And eventually, around the time that we ultimately got married and
Mhm.
partnered for life like that,
Yeah.
we also realized that we could bring our gifts and our skills together, merge our entrepreneurial endeavors, and move forward. But like I said, I was in sewing. his original entrepreneurial journey started with tabletop board games,
Wow.
and we've brought those together and taken the story element, taken his masculine way of doing entrepreneurship and my
Mhm.
feminine way of entrepreneurship, and created what we now call the civilized animal method that brings the masculine and feminine together.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to get deeper into that too.
Yeah. So what is that you and your husband do right now in this
Right.
industry?
So the main thing that we do is we help entrepreneurs with big events,
All right.
mostly in the virtual space. But as things continue to open up and retreats and big conferences
Mhm.
start to come to the forefront, we're starting to help with some in person events as well. What we do is not so much the event planning, though.
All
What
right.
we do is we support the whole process of doing a big project
Mhm.
without burning out.
Mm.
Um, we bring well, see, it's getting into the masculine and feminine energy, right? I'm going to take a step back and ask you a question.
All right. Yeah. Just go for it.
How many times have you scheduled maybe a podcast interview or
Yeah.
a Zoom call or a launch or a big project? And when you sit down to actually do the work, actually log on to the call, you're just not feeling that same excitement
Yeah. Like
anymore.
sometimes that's crazy because that's how things is like I have to do so many things like for like preparing for it, like doing so many things like writing emails or like reminding the audience like that's really crazy like doing copy like I I cannot imagine like like doing everything, but that's a crazy process for sure.
Exactly. So one of the things that masculine and feminine and knowing the difference and knowing how to utilize them helps you
Mhm.
to do is helps you to realize that you have both in your nature.
Mhm.
I'm female, but I have masculine and feminine in my nature. I have civilized and animal. That's where that word name comes from, the name of our business, the name of our method. um, you also have that civilized side and that animal side. And if we can learn to work with both of them, we can overcome these hurdles of not feeling it. Um, and one of these ways is by approaching selling specifically is one of the ways that I'll talk about it in just a little bit here.
Yeah, so this is
Um,
mostly about the energy that you feel and the way you move forward with. Is it something like that, or like I'm in a totally different way?
Yeah, that you're on that right track, exactly.
Mhm.
So what we do in our business when we jump into this event planning with a client, we
Mhm.
have 120 days that we stay with them,
Wow.
and we use our methodology to help them go from task to task and get everything done in a way that feels good. Not just that gets things done, but actually feels good all along the way. A lunch can be a roller coaster,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
we seek to even that out a little bit.
Yeah,
Keep
so
with the
so
highs.
like yeah, that's on top, like not falling. Like either like they can drop a little bit, but not like
Mhm,
like
mhm.
that's crazy because like I know like that can take so much energy from you, and that's really crazy. So like how do you do the all the planning? Because like do you do from like like little by little step, or how do you do it? Like is it gonna be like uh the process? Like I'm just a bit more curious about the planning and how do you guys do it?
Yeah, absolutely. We have, a methodology that we well, it depends on the type of event, but at the end of the day, every single time we help run an event, we are talking about the nitty-gritty, the make this decision, brainstorm this, now edit this, now actually execute on this.
Wow.
It's very nitty-gritty. Um, and the way that we organize those tasks and order them is based off of this natural flow that we have between the civilized and the animal,
Mhm.
between the masculine and the feminine. So it's not just that moment of selling, it's the
Yeah,
whole
like the
process.
process, but do you guys do any kind of like done for you service or something like that? Because it's because if you're just going all the way with them, this is like kind of like done for you, like it's like or not, like they're doing it like done with you, or is it like do it for you or something like that?
Yeah, I think it would technically classify in the done with you category
Hmm.
because we
Hmm.
want to keep our client along for the journey for those parts of running an event that require voice and vision. They are hosting the event, they are the face of the event, and they are the decision maker. So they often write a lot of their copy with our support. We provide templates and things like that, but they're writing, they're that voice, they're that vision. But yeah, we do. Our team does back you up and does all of those the really annoying little tasks, the menial tasks that anybody can do, getting automation set up, this sort of a thing. Yeah, we do offer that as a service.
Yeah, the back end operation, like doing the graphics, the logo, like this kind of thing, like because they're tiny, but this can take so much time because I have done the graphic design myself. Like I was in the design industry, and I
Mm-hmm.
know like it takes so much time because if you're not like 100% sure, like let me pick the right color, let me pick like this thing is so much like this can take so much time, but yeah, like I understand. So like speaking of team, like how many team members you have in the team right
All right.
now?
So the question was about our team. Yes, we have 3 team members at the moment. Myself, my husband, and our assistant, and
Hmm.
we're looking to expand that in 2023. Hopefully,
Yeah, no,
that's one of our goals.
yeah, that's amazing. So right now, like yeah, I know like we're all excited for 2023 and everything. So can you explain a little bit more about like the masculine and feminine selling and what how you want to
Yes.
evolve this in next year as well? Because like we do have like plans for everyone. Like we wanna like make sure that our offer is gonna be the best out there. Like next year, we can help more people out there, or whatever, right? So what is your goal for next year, and can you explain a little bit about the masculine and feminine selling?
Yes, I'm excited to dig into this masculine
Yeah,
and
like
feminine selling because this is
I'm
the
also
core of what I love talking
interested, you know.
about.
Yeah, let's go for it.
So, I think that the best way to illustrate the difference between masculine and feminine selling is to tell you a story.
All right.
So, I told you about how I got started on my entrepreneurial journey,
Mm-hmm.
but my first real job when I
Mm-hmm.
was
Yeah.
told, as a teen and a young adult, go
Yeah.
get a real job,
Yeah.
was part of what it entailed was to get on calls
Mm-hmm.
and cold pitch people, more or
Yeah, like
less.
cold calling.
I
Yeah.
had a sales script, and I would clutch that phone and follow that sales script to a T, and it worked.
Yeah, like
But I
like it.
hated it.
Yeah, that's not the best job you can be. Like whatever you do, like you have to love it, right?
Exactly. So yes, I hated it, but it worked. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing. Masculine sales methods work. That's an example of masculine sales methods.
Yeah, exactly.
What people call bro marketing is in this
Mm-hmm.
broad category. Cold calling, pitching. It doesn't have to be slimy or sleazy,
Mm-hmm.
but it is that very masculine push forward, make a decision, pressure. Some of these are some of the words that we associate with this type of masculine selling. And like I said, it works
Yeah, like
and it's
it
not
does.
bad. Mhm.
Like it depends like how you choose the how to sell your offer, but yeah, it really works, you know, in the final
Mhm.
run. So yeah, like people
I
choose it
have
because
been, sorry.
like it makes money, right? So that's why like people use more and more. So that's how it
Exactly.
is.
And it's not just from the making money side. I
Mm-hmm.
personally have been very blessed by things that were hard sold to me. I mean, I'm talking about even just a friend saying, "Oh my gosh, you have to try this product or this new food or this something." They're hard selling. That's that
Mm-hmm.
masculine energy of you've got to do this.
Yeah,
And when I
okay.
do it, I'm so glad I did. So it's a blessing on both sides. It's a positive
Yeah.
thing, but it's only one side.
Mm-hmm.
Almost a decade after I was sitting there with white knuckling the phone, I was back
Yeah.
to being an entrepreneur and I was out in the grass and
Mm-hmm.
my phone rang. I
Wow.
answered it and somebody calling me that I didn't know,
Mm-hmm.
asking to sign a 5-figure contract
Wow, like
and hire
that's
us to run
crazy.
her event.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. You know, like that's something like never happened for me. You know, like that's crazy because like I don't know how. Like maybe this was something, the calling for you to be. Let's be an entrepreneur. Like that's the journey for you. Like just go for it. Don't do anything else for rest of your life. But yeah, just go for it. Like share a little bit more.
Yeah. So the difference here, I went from feeling like I was begging
Mm-hmm.
with this cold calling to having people beg to work with me. And the difference was masculine and feminine selling methods. Um, the reason that I was out in the grass that day was actually because we were temporarily homeless due to
Mm-hmm.
toxic mold in our home. And so I was hanging out outside, and it would have been really, really easy to try to cold call, hustle, and pitch my way into the cash that we needed to get out of that present situation. But instead, I leaned back into the feminine, and I was rewarded when my
Yeah,
phone rang and we
exactly.
got that client.
Yeah.
So the difference here can be hard to articulate, but if you think about it, you can feel it. When I told those two stories, when I expressed the different methods of selling, you felt the difference. There was that push energy of the masculine, and there was that pull energy, that drawing in of the feminine. Feminine sales methods take longer. The
Mm-hmm.
reason that someone cold called me that I didn't know is because I've put myself out there and she
Mm-hmm.
heard about me and she
Exactly.
got recommendations and had read reviews and knew what people
Mm-hmm.
thought about me and the work that my team does so that she knew
Mm-hmm.
she could call me up and say, I want to hire you.
Yeah, that's
Um,
really
and it's a
exciting.
very quiet process. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
like
that's the difference
yeah,
between masculine and feminine.
yeah, like sometimes like we just need to push, all right, let's give them the final push and do this, like do that, like that's really crazy while selling. But talking about that, like you was doing like you were an entrepreneur like at 12 years old, and then like you went back to like regular job, like cold calling. So when was the time, like what year that you came back as an entrepreneur, like in this industry?
I only had a day job for 18 months
Ah.
in the middle there.
Mhm.
So I came right back to it. I stepped right back into the sewing world, wrote my book, published my book.
Mhm.
And that was within the past 10 years, all of that has
Mhm.
happened, the day job and coming back.
Mhm. All right. So you have been in this online industry for over like 10 years right now, right? So and for this event, like planning and everything, like helping the clients, how do you see everything like before COVID and after COVID? Like how COVID helped you? Because I guess like the COVID helped your business in the long run, right? So can you explain a little bit more?
Yeah, that's been interesting too. We actually were not in the virtual event space. We were not assisting people with virtual events
Mm-hmm.
until after COVID happened.
Oh.
We entered the virtual event space ourselves and started hosting our own virtual events
Mm-hmm.
in 2020. And we very rapidly coupled with basically the person who trained me to run our virtual events didn't want to help. That she wants to teach it, but she doesn't want to do that done for you or done with you
Yeah, exactly.
kind of work. And so she started referring people to me
Mm-hmm.
saying, "Oh, their team knows how to run events. See if they'll do it for you."
Yeah.
And they would ask, this is that feminine selling. They would
Mm-hmm.
ask me. It was not an official offer on our
Mm-hmm.
website. It
Yep.
was not something we were advertising. But they heard that I was good at it and they would say, "Oh, can you squeeze me in? Can
Yeah,
you do a
like
month of helping me set up the tech, or can you help me the week that the event is live? Just, come in,
Mhm.
help me and go out."
And
And
God,
I was
yeah.
doing this kind of stuff, and that's how we got started over the past couple of years.
Wow. So I just wanna come back to it later. But who was your biggest inspiration for this online journey? Because I know like we have someone that shown us, yeah, like there's the way for you. Like online is the biggest. Like you know that like Tony Robbins is one of the big name out there. Like Dean Graziosi, Russell Brunson, like Grant Cardone. Like there are so many other entrepreneurs. Like who was your biggest inspiration for this online journey?
Oh, goodness. Actually, the original inspiration is someone I'm sure you've never heard of. Her
All
name is
right.
Jenny Chansey,
Mm-hmm.
and she was a massive inspiration for me when I was a teen
Mm-hmm.
because she had taken her sewing skills and taken them online.
All
And
right.
I watched her raise her children and be a part of their lives, homeschool them, be able to take them on international travels
Wow.
because she had this online sewing based business.
Mhm.
And I looked at that and said, that is what I want. That is my dream. I want to have an online business so that I can be with my family
Mhm.
and raise them. And keep in mind, I'm a teen at this point. I don't have a husband. I don't have
Yeah.
kids at this point. But I started building then so that I
Mhm.
can have what I have now, which is 3 children, a husband. We have traveled a lot, not internationally yet. Our kids are a little too young for for an international flight. That's a little overwhelming for me right now. But anyway, we are living this that
Mhm.
I dreamed of back then when I saw this woman, Jenny Chansey, and she was my original inspiration.
No, that's crazy. But speaking of your like backstory, like I want to come back to your first blog that your dad built up for you. So what happened to that sewing business? Like, what happened? Like, like you were still there, or like any update about that?
Well, I still sew things for my daughters. I
Oh,
still am doing that kind of a thing, but I don't do it professionally.
mhm.
Um, that original blog is actually out there
Wow, like that's great.
somewhere. See, I never had administrative capabilities. My dad did the admin. I just wrote a post, told him it was ready, and then he hit publish
Mhm.
for me once he approved it. Which, by the way, I think is excellent. If you've got
Mhm.
a little tangent here, if you've got kids, teens, anyone interested in blogging, putting themselves out there, I think that's an awesome method. Having
Mhm.
grown through it myself, it protected me from trolls and haters and things because we didn't have comments enabled on the blog. And it protected me from sharing too much because my dad approved everything.
Mhm.
But it also was a collaborative. He approached it as a collaboration, not a okay, you have to follow my rules if you want to do this or anything like that. He said, "Come join with me. I have a website, I have a blog. You can join with me and do this and share it with me, and then I'll share it with the world."
Mhm.
And that was amazing and obviously life influential.
Yeah, like
It
that. That's
changed
that's
the
crazy because if you have someone out there like who is guiding you on the journey, like from family, that's really amazing because you had your dad who is helping you. Like because my family, like they're not into this online world, so I had to figure out
yeah.
everything myself. So that's really like I know like how it could have helped me on the journey, but like I'm grateful where I am right now. But you said that you do have like 3 kids, so how are you planning to raise them as a mom and as an entrepreneur? What is your plan? Because you was the entrepreneur like at 12 years old. So what's the plan for them? Like they want to be an entrepreneur at 6 or something? I don't know.
Great question. My answer to that in one sentence would be the plan is to train them in the way they should go.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that my parents translated that, that's a proverb. And the way that they translated that and put it into practice in their own children's lives is something that
Mm-hmm.
I want to emulate. And they looked at that and said, I want to train up my child in the way they should go.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that was supporting my entrepreneurship, supporting my writing, supporting my creativity.
Yep.
For my next sister down,
Mm-hmm.
that meant international travel.
Mm-hmm.
She's an international
Yeah, like
missionary. She went to Africa for the first time when she was 10.
oh, wow.
So they watched each of their children from the beginning
Mm-hmm.
and looked and asked themselves, what is the way that they should go?
Mm-hmm.
What is the way that Jordan should go? What is the way that each of their children should go? And they did whatever they could
Mm-hmm.
to make that happen. And that's the same thing that I want to do with our children. I want to look at them
Mm-hmm.
each
Yeah, exactly.
individually and ask, what is the way that they should go?
Mm-hmm.
And so for my 1-year-old right now, she is crazy about music and
Wow.
dancing. She didn't want to learn to walk, she wanted to learn to dance.
Yeah,
And
like
so I try to remind myself when I'm interacting with her, sing, put on music, encourage her to dance, even at 1 year old. Does that mean that I envision this life for her where she's a professional dancer and this and that and the other? I don't know. Dancing may be a thing that is a toddler thing and then she moves on.
mm-hmm.
And I want to watch her and study her and take her from there. And of course, my other 2 children have their own interests and perspectives.
So like speaking of your family and everything, so I just want to come into for a little bit of this professional way. So
Mhm,
let's say like I'm new to this online world, right? I want to learn how
mhm.
to sell. So what is your number one advice that I should follow? Anyone in this industry they should follow while selling their offer online?
First of all, simply notice how you're feeling
Mm-hmm.
because our animal and civilized natures
Mm-hmm.
are in flux. We feel different every day, and that is okay. In fact, it's good because it enables
Mm-hmm.
us to do different things every
Yeah,
day.
exactly. Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
um, have you ever heard the advice to eat that frog?
I don't know. I have not,
There's a
but
book out there.
uh-huh.
It was popular, when I was earlier in my entrepreneurial journey,
Mm-hmm.
but it comes from a quote from Mark Twain, who said,
Mm-hmm. All
"If
right.
it's your job to eat a frog every morning, every day, be sure to do it first thing in the morning
All right.
because then the rest of your day will go much better." So you get that nasty thing out of the way is the
Mm-hmm.
concept behind this idea of eat that frog. I actually take the exact opposite
Mm-hmm.
perspective. Don't eat that frog
All
first thing
right.
in the morning. And if you have to, if it's something that you absolutely must do and it's this nasty frog,
Mm-hmm.
fry it first. Make frog legs and then eat your frog.
Oh,
And so
yeah.
what that looks like in the entrepreneurial space when you're looking at the task at hand and you don't feel like doing it, what part of it
Mm-hmm.
might you feel like doing?
Mm-hmm. All right.
If you absolutely must tackle this thing in front of you, how can you look at it from a different angle? Let's say I don't feel like going live right now. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to clean myself up. I don't want to be on video. I'm just dragging. Ah, I have to do this. I don't want to go live, but I do want to be a person of my word and
Exactly.
show up when I said I was going to show up. Or I am actually excited to share the thing that I'm going to share when I go live.
Mm-hmm.
And going live is just a means to an end. Now, one way that I might approach that is just fixating on that goal of being this kind of person who shows up
Mm-hmm.
more. That's one step. But I can even take it a step further and ask myself, is going live on video necessary to reach this goal? If I'm not feeling like cleaning up and I feel like I don't want to show my face online,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I do an audio only live
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
stream.
exactly. Yeah, you can just go for it.
Like
That's it.
I can change it. I can fry the frog legs
Mm-hmm.
and make it more palatable by
Yeah.
changing the way that I do things. And so that's the number one thing that I would say is
Mm-hmm.
just start looking at things from different angles: masculine, feminine, civilized, animal, ordered process, natural flow. Is there a way that you can flip this
Mm-hmm.
thing in front of you?
Yeah. So you're just saying that make the challenges a little bit like you just have to look at from different angles so that you can figure out all right what is the weak spot and just go for it, right? Like is that what
Mhm.
you're saying? Yeah. All
Yep,
right.
there's
Yeah.
lots, and that's part of what I'm saying too, is there's lots of ways to approach this. There
Mm-hmm.
isn't just one quick fix that's gonna work for you every single day,
Mm-hmm.
because every single day you have different tasks, and every single day you feel a little bit differently.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
it's not gonna be one quick fix. It's
Mm-hmm.
gonna be learning to know yourself and lean into that flow of
Mm-hmm.
being you and who you are today.
Yeah. That's absolutely true. Right. So I'm gonna come on a different topic right now. All right. So beginning of the call that you've mentioned that you have written two books already. So what is the next book, or is there anything else that you're working on right now? Like what's the plan?
That is a great question. I don't know which book is gonna be the next one that we
Yeah, really?
publish. My husband is working on, um he has a series of 4 books, and so
Wow.
he's working on the next one, and these are on meditation. So
Mm-hmm.
they're creative works for us. They're less, they're not very they're not directly tied, I'll say. They
Mm-hmm.
aren't
All right.
directly tied to what we're doing in our business right now. They're a
Mm-hmm.
creative outlet because we just love writing.
Uh-huh.
Um, However, the next big project in our business is an in-person retreat.
Oh,
I
okay. All
have
right.
not yet, as of this recording, hosted an in-person event yet, and
Wow,
we're going to be doing that in the first quarter of 2023.
that's crazy. Like that. So is that is like 2023 plan, or you do have more coming in next year?
Oh, well, we've got big plans for next year, but I haven't
Uh,
been sharing them publicly yet because they're not totally solid.
uh-huh.
But they're definitely going to involve both virtual and in-person events,
Hmm.
both for ourselves and our clients.
Wow, that's crazy. So can you give me a little bit of hint, or that's too much for us right now?
Uh, well, the hint that I will give is that we are working on a process for creating a very VIP intimate experience in person
Hmm.
and having a digital element that also lets you have reach, international reach,
Hmm.
national reach, but also providing that opportunity for your raving fans to get to know you in
Hmm.
person. So
Wow.
that's what we are working on internally in our business, doing it
Hmm.
ourselves and working on a process to make that available to our clients as well.
Wow, that's really amazing. And I don't want to take too much time, but I'm going to ask you one last question about the business and the online industry. So, what is your favorite social media platform? So, like, is it going to be like YouTube, like Facebook, like Instagram, LinkedIn? Like, there are so many other platforms. So, which one is your favorite, and why, and how often you post there?
I hate social media. So I am not super consistent in the public social media channels. However, I
Hmm.
will say that Telegram
Hmm.
is my favorite place to hang out. So I have a channel, a public channel on Telegram that you can find me at, and that's where I post everything. Um, so I'd have to say that one. It's not one of the typical social media channels that you think of, but
Yeah,
that's where I hang out.
like not that because most people they use like either Facebook, Instagram, and they go crazy like YouTube. But why did you choose like Telegram over any other platforms?
I like Telegram because there is no algorithm. Everything is what do you call it? Chronological. Everything is
Mm-hmm.
chronological. It's really easy to stay organized and
Mm-hmm.
stay up on the people that you want to stay up on and really connected instead of relying on an algorithm, paid ads, and all of those things that are a barrier between
Uh-huh.
me and my
Yeah,
people.
and the audience, yeah, like sometimes because of the algorithm, like things they don't go, and that's crazy because sometimes like you can post for months and no one is like going through, and sometimes like you can do one or two posts and they just blew up and you don't know what the hell happened, and
Yep.
yeah, like things can go like either way, but yeah, I understand where you're coming from. So the only place for like anyone to find you is gonna be like mostly on Telegram, right? Like,
You can find me on Telegram. That's where you can really connect with me. I
mm-hmm.
do also have Instagram.
Uh-huh.
Ask Jordan Aspen is my Instagram handle. I think you've got
Mm-hmm.
that link. Um, and that is the more known social platform where you can find me.
All right. So yeah, like that's gonna be it, Jordan. Like we had an amazing time. Like I hope like 2023 is gonna be really amazing. So what is that you wanna say to these wildcat entrepreneurs that they're trying to be on this online journey like in 1 minute or something so that they can be inspired and they can be like going all day like in 2023 or next year and coming years, and they can have big goals like you, not only just do things on like 12 years old and then the flame is burned out, but I want you to say something that yeah that will carry us for next 5 to 10 years.
I want to say keep going, but don't
Hmm.
feel like you have to push through.
Hmm.
If you're not feeling it one day, that's okay. You'll probably feel it again tomorrow, or at least the next day or the next week. And so
All right.
just keep going.
Hmm.
Even if that's a tiny little step, just keep going.
All right, that's gonna be it, guys. Like you heard her, and I'm gonna uh, so let me do the like outro. So yeah, all right, guys, you know her, like she just said that yeah, like you just have to go and moving forward, like just keep moving forward and things will fall for you, maybe next year or maybe in future, because you don't know what's gonna be coming for you, right? So yeah, guys, that's it for today, and maybe we can share something with Jordan in future, and hopefully we'll bring her again someday. All right, bye bye, guys.